Hey everyone, it's Miami Life and Fitness. In today's video, we're going to be talking about I'm juicing. What the hell does that even mean? Sure, I drink apple juice and kiwi juice and mango juice and all other kinds of juices. Nah, not really. Let's get down and see what this video is all about, because I just got accused of juicing. Who the hell said this? Alright, if you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you are back for another video, then thank you so much for your support. And if you do love my content and you appreciate my free information, go ahead and hit the like button now. Subscribe to stay tuned for all of my videos. And also, if you want to show some extra love, then go ahead and hit the super thanks on the bottom. It's a nice big heart, but I'm getting completely personal. It has nothing to do with the fitness part of this, as far as, well, I guess maybe it does. But it's really all about Miami life and something that happened to me last week. While I was at my mom's house in Jacksonville. So somebody said I was juicing. And I can't wait to let you in on what the hell happened and what my response was. My sister was turning 40, and her husband was throwing her, well, he wasn't really throwing her. He was trying to put together a surprise party for her 40th, and had let everybody know, blah, blah, blah. So my brother and I, who live in South Florida, had said that we were gonna go up. Now, my brother works Monday through Friday here, and he was gonna go up Friday evening. And of course I can go up with him, but I decided not to, so I can go up a few days earlier so I can hang out with my mom a few days and just not be up there for a day and a half. So she didn't want a party for her 40th, and her husband didn't want one either. However, her friends up there, who she knows in the industry, decided, oh, let's go ahead and throw her a surprise party. We'll get together and we will plan the event and we will put it together. We will organize it. So her husband was like, okay, no problem. Because he's not a party planner, I'm not a party planner. So the girls, who she knows that are in that industry, said they're gonna plan the party for her. Well, we went out to dinner Thursday evening, which was her actual birthday, the day of her birthday. And during the conversation, she starts asking me questions about my brother. Had I seen my brother? The girl whom we met that came here from South Africa, they were, are they still talking? Are they still seeing each other? And I hadn't really spoken to my brother in depth about that situation or about the girl that he had met when he was in South Africa earlier this year. And so the conversation kind of slipped, and talking about my brother, there was a girl that my sister wants my brother to meet who lives up there in Jacksonville as well. And she thought, oh, this girl will be great for your brother. I'm dying for him to meet her, and I want to introduce her to him. And so very innocently, I slipped and I said, oh my God, is she going to be there on Saturday? Well, there went the surprise, because I blurted out, is she going to be there Saturday? Well, of course, my sister didn't know what the hell was going on that Saturday. Anyway, he got really pissed, and it was 3 days that he was pissed off because I slipped and I mentioned the fact that something was happening on Saturday. Now, little did my sister know, nothing, she didn't really know what was going on anyway. And it could have been just, oh, something was happening at my mom's house. My mom was going to cook dinner for her on Saturday. Now, that came from an innocent place that I slipped, and it was something innocent. I didn't mean to say it. I didn't do it on purpose, obviously. And it came from an innocent place, talking about my brother, and it just completely slipped my mind. Now, that being said, that I slipped, of course I apologize, and I felt like I wanted to crawl under a rock after that happened, because I had ruined a surprise that he was planning for her. Needless to say, what words came after that in the next few minutes were from a very ugly, negative, and malicious place, because he decided to say, well, now that Esri can't keep her mouth shut, well, we're just going to let you know that, this friend is going to be there, this friend is going to be there, that girl's going to be there, her husband's going to be there, this couple's going to be there, that couple's going to be there. I did it at a wine bar. We're going to a wine bar that I reserved for you. Your mom is getting you another cake on that day, so you got another cake coming, and started literally filling her with all of the details that were going on that day and what everybody was doing for her and who all was going to be there, which that right there comes from a malicious place. And he did that on purpose to try to make the situation, or to try to make me look worse. But in reality, all he did was make himself look worse, because my sister, first of all, said, you know what, it's really okay. It's not a big deal. I don't like surprises. I hate effing surprises. So I'm glad that I know what it is, what we're doing, is I know I'm going dressed, and I know what to expect, and I know how many people are going to be there. And my sister, who plans events all the time, really doesn't like surprises or those types of events because she's constantly doing them. And I get it. I don't really like all those surprises either. So I think that made him feel worse, and that got him even more pissed off because she's like, it's not a big deal. I'm glad I know now. I'm glad the cat's out of the bag because now I know where it is and what we're doing, and now I know how I'm going to go dress because I hate surprises. So I was like, oh, thank God. So I really didn't feel that bad. Unfortunately, my mom couldn't go to the dinner because she had to take her husband to the hospital. He was having really heavy heart palpitation. His BP was over 170, so she decided to take him to the emergency room. And so in reality, as my boyfriend said, Miguel, because I called him and I was very upset after the dinner, and I'm not gonna lie, I never cry, and nor would I cry in front of him. But yeah, I got to the car and I did start crying because it hurt me that I had basically slipped and let her know about the surprise that that was being planned for her. And this was just another way for him to continue to talk shit about me because he can't stand me for whatever reason, which I'll get to in a little bit because that's gonna come out in the open. And when I got home and I called Miguel, and Miguel, calmed me down, and thank God for him because he really put things in perspective and he really brought reality back in check. And he said, that's really not a big deal. Yeah, you slipped and you made a mistake, but the big deal is not that there's a party Saturday and your sister knows about it, even though you slipped. The big deal is that this person is in the hospital and he may have a stroke or a heart attack because he has heart issues. And he goes, that is what's a big deal. The guy should be worried about that your mom's husband is in the hospital, that your mom had to rush him to the emergency. That is what's a big deal because he's in the hospital, and people should be worried about how he's doing in the hospital and not being worried. And he shouldn't be worried about, oh, now she let the cat out of the bag. So now that that's done, that was on Thursday evening of last week, a week ago. And I didn't speak to either one of them until Saturday at the party. Now, before the party happened, which was at 6 o'clock in the evening, around 12:30 in the afternoon, I get a text from this asshole, my sister's husband. And he sends me this message saying, I wish you would have told me that the balloons needed helium. Well, my response was, I got exactly the balloons you wanted me to from Amazon. You sent me the link and I got exactly what you wanted. Having said that, you already knew that the kit that you wanted me to get with the balloons come from Amazon, and you know that Amazon doesn't send balloons in the mail full of helium. Ha ha ha, LOL. And he goes, well, here's the girl's number that's planning the party. Why don't you figure it out? You should have had the balloons filled up. And I go, again, this could have been said to us earlier. My mom took her all the stuff on Monday, 6 days ago. She could have looked through the stuff and figured out what needed to be done. So now this girl, who I really didn't care for when I met her either, she gets to the party and I meet her and she was like, oh, it's not a big deal. My mom said, this guy's really upset. I don't even want to say his name because he's not even worth it. That, this guy's really upset. You should have texted me and not him. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. And I'm thinking, you're a bitch and you did this on purpose because my mom has been speaking to you for a week about what's going on and about all the details. And you really had no right, number one, texting him because he's an asshole. He's just gonna get pissed off and he's just gonna hate me even more because I didn't have the balloons filled with helium. And not all balloons need helium because the little tiny ones that were on the back of the chairs, which were cute and everything, they don't need helium. It just takes 15 minutes to blow in these damn balloons. He was talking about, I guess, the big ones. I was a 4 and the O that were going to be standing in the back of the room that were this big, the 4 O's. Thank God my mother was right next to me because I don't think it had been for her, I probably would have told him off. But she just said, just keep things cool. Just keep things cool. We're going to solve the situation, blah, blah, blah. So then this asshole says, you did the bare minimum. Save yourself for the gym. Save your energy for exerting it for the gym. And I just put LOL because there was no need for me to respond to really such ignorant and childish behavior or comments. So anyway, at the party, I wasn't even going to say hi to him. He said hi to me when he walked in. I said hi back, no big deal. But as I was sitting in the back of the room at the table with my mom, my brother, my aunt, and my uncle, thank God we were all there, the Cuban people in the back and the non-Cubans were everywhere else. He steps to me in the back of the room and he starts talking to me and starts to kind of somewhat half-assing his apology about what he said and what happened. At the end of the day, you're my wife's sister and blah blah blah. And I go, yeah, I understand, and we're not going to get along. We don't see eye to eye. We both have alpha personalities. You and I have really never gotten along. We may not agree on everything, but at the end of the day, we have to respect each other because you are my sister's husband and you're my nephew's father, and we have to get along. And for blah blah blah. So I do have to respect that. We don't have to see eye to eye. We don't have to agree on everything, but we do have to get along when we're here because you are now part of our family. And we need to just get along for everybody and keep things cool for my sister. So that was fine. And I felt that, okay, that came from a good place. So we had a good talk and we were talking very, very low, just keeping everything very private. But it was at the end of the conversation, this is how I know that everything you said before that was completely false. And this is when people show their true colors. He basically tries to put another dagger in me, which I didn't let him, but he goes, and I said something about, yeah, I'm not even drinking alcohol because I wanted to make sure that I was completely focused if anything happened. And when people drink, and they're angry or they're pissed off, things can come out. And I wanted to make sure that didn't happen, at least to me, so I'm not drinking any alcohol. And he goes, yeah, well, you shouldn't be drinking any alcohol anyway when you're juicing, right? Because that can really mess up your liver when you're juicing like that. So I'm thinking, you just had to say something. So me, I'm just like, and I looked down and I said, I'm thinking to myself, wow, this guy is an effing ignorant bastard. And I go, actually, I'm really not juicing at all. And you actually have no idea what I'm really taking. But just so you know, I am on hormonal therapy, something you might want to look into, considering you are looking like a female these days. Because we're very similar in age. We're like just 3 or 4 years apart. And I said, and actually I get my labs done every 3 months, and I get all my results overlooked by the physician there at the TRT clinic that I go to and that I'm a part of and that I send my clients to. So actually everything is on the up and up. So I really don't have any idea why you're telling me that comment. He was like, oh really? Oh, okay, cool. Like he didn't know what to say after that. And I'm thinking, I'm the most responsible person ever. And there's no such thing as me juicing up. I mean, what do you think? I'm detoxing because I'm trying to take a shit and you detox or you juice for a week? Listen, bud, let me tell you something. And this goes to all the idiots and all the imbeciles and all the ding-dongs out there. When you go around being judgmental and ignorant about people that are juiced up. Half the world is juiced up and you would never know because they're fat slobs, because they don't know how to get their diet right, their hormones right, and their training right, and they just want to announce or feel good to themselves in the mirror that they're juicing up or doing whatever. For someone to just go up to somebody and say you're juiced up, especially to a woman, I think is completely wrong and out of line. Number one, you really don't know if right now I'm not even taking anything. And on top of that, buddy, and all the other idiots out there, you don't know how long I have worked or anybody else has worked to get into the physical position or to get to the physical point of where they are right now and where their physique, of what position and what level their physique has acquired and what they have done to get there and the measurement to get there and the sacrifice, the discipline, the dedication, and the work that they've put in to get there. Years of eating correctly, years of not drinking alcohol, not doing drugs, and years of focusing on food, years of focusing on perfect training every single day, every single week. Not every day, 5 days a week, but I'm saying every day you go to the gym, every single week, 52 weeks out of the year for the last 4 or 5 years. You have no idea what it's like to get your body to 10, 11% body fat, and you have no right thinking that somebody is juicing, because right now I may be off the juice and I may be off gear and I may be off roids or whatever else judgmental, idiot, ignorant, empty brain MFs are out there that call that. Because you're too lazy to put in the work and you're too lazy to have discipline. You don't have any discipline or drive, so you make yourself because you feel inferior to others because you don't have it in you. And so you start being judgmental on others who made it because you can't make it because you don't have the discipline and the drive. So this goes out to all the people who go out insulting and judging people who look like me or other people who are in CrossFit or fitness or bodybuilders or anybody else. You don't even have to compete, but just somebody who's into fitness and who's up and up on their fitness, who has spent years and decades focusing on their body and putting in the work and proper training and food every single day, day in and day out, who prep their meals and who give a shit about what goes in their body, give a shit about their health, and who actually respect themselves and respects their body and watches what they put in it and what they don't. You have no idea what it goes into to look like this, or to have a physique where you actually look like an athlete. If you are an athlete, or you are a person who is physically fit, you don't have to have a perfect anatomy, you don't have to have a perfect physique, but if you're a fit person and you're into fitness, then you have that person, the people that judge you have no idea the work that you have put in to get there. To balance your hormones, to make sure that your hormones are balanced and restored if you need it, to take what you need to have it restored so your body can feel good and so you can live your optimal life and you can live your best life, and to have your training and your food in check every single day. So for those of you that are inferior, and for those of you that are on a power trip, and for those of you that the only self-defense mechanism you have to make yourself feel better is to put somebody else down when you judge somebody because you are a man and you look like a female, because when you take off your shirt and you're with your kids in the pool, you have bigger breasts than your wife does. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because unfortunately, every time I see this individual, he looks more and more like a female. So I think that it is part of, I don't know what you call it, jealousy, envy, whatever it is, or hate, or the lack of discipline and drive, how you hate yourself when you look in the mirror because you have an inferiority complex, because you're actually miserable at what you look like and what your life is. So this all just goes to that comment: when you think about somebody else being juiced, you know, think about what you're saying and think about where it's coming from, and look at yourself in the mirror, because it's going to be something that's lacking in your life and in your mental and in your mind that you have to say something negative about another person. So I just wanted to get that out there. Comment below if this has happened to you. Comment if you feel that I should have knocked him out, even though I didn't. I kept the peace and I remained cool, calm, and composed. Definitely not like me, but therapy sessions have been helping. Therapy sessions have been helping. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. But I wanted to get this personal venting session out, because we really have to stop the judging and the bullshit about people juicing or on roids. People can do whatever the hell they want, because people, you know, some people are alcoholics and he's worried about liver enzymes because you're juicing. Listen up, bud. All that alcohol that you drink, because you drink a lot of alcohol, you have more need to be concerned about yourself and your liver enzymes, because it's more detrimental than popping a little pill. You are so stupid. I hope he watches this video. All right, guys, end of the video. Watch one of these. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what's up. And I just had to get personal, because sometimes you got to get personal.